Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Friday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, and sports. I am Glenora Shipura. Getting into the news tonight, Rally for Democracy and Progress President Kenti Nehova has announced the party's decision to participate in the upcoming November elections. Speaking at a press conference held in their office in Windhoek, Nehova stated that it is their right and obligation to their supporters to participate. He further urged the Electoral Commission of Namibia to reconsider its decision to block them from participating in the elections. Marriott Ngula reports.
I wish to inform the Namibian nation in general, RDP members in particular, as well as RDP supporters and sympathizers, that the Rally for Democracy and Progress RDP shall participate in all forthcoming elections this year, 2020, and in the elections next year for the regional and the local authority elections. I thank you. Before I emphasize here that we are a party, a legally registered with the ECN, and we have a legal, an authorized representative, Johnny Shiwa Shepherd, that the ECN has in its documents. That is the person that we decided will be a liaison between the party and the ECN.
In our next story, this morning, TransNamib had to perform an emergency brake on one of its trains. According to officials at the scene, the train was en route to Tsumeb from Ondangwa last night. However, earlier this morning, while stationed at Oshivelo, the driver and assistant exited the train to inspect a problem. While outside, the locomotive unexpectedly began to move along the rails while in reverse gear with no one on board. After traveling more than 150 kilometers, TransNamib officials manipulated the rails at Omashaka in Ondangwa to force the train to stop, which led to 10 of the 25 trailers derailing while bringing the moving train to a standstill. In our next story, the Namibia Power Corporation signed a contract with Chinese firm Dongfeng Electrical International Corporation for the construction of a $2.5 billion biomass plant, as well as several fuel supply contracts with several local and international contractors. The plant will help Nampower meet its power supply needs and provide a baseload power solution for the bulk electricity supplier. Its MD Kahenge Haulufu said. Let's take a look.
This project will be one of the answers to the long-awaited realization for a baseload power station in Namibia. The power station will enable Nampower to cost-effectively provide baseload electricity and will contribute to the expansion of power generation for the country. As we all know, energy from renewable energy sources such as wind and solar are not available around the clock compared to a baseload power supply. Thus, this will reduce Namibia's reliance on imported electricity. The Oshikoto Biomass Power Station project will be a game changer and a transformative leap in Nampower's plans for the expansion of generation capacity aimed at ensuring energy security for Namibia.
The Old Mutual Foundation launched its third edition of the highly anticipated Old Mutual Sustainable Economic and Empowerment Drive last week, with a total investment of $800,000 Namibian in support of grassroots entrepreneurs in Ohangwena, Zambesi, Oshikoto, and Kavango West regions. Following the remarkable impact achieved in the Erongo, Kavango East, and Hardab regions in 2022 and 2023, the Foundation is extending the initiative to the Ohangwena, Zambesi, Oshikoto, and Kavango West regions this year. These 4 regions have been strategically chosen as the 2024 OHM Seed focus areas to foster entrepreneurship, create value within local communities, and help address the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Introduced in 2022, OHM Seed aims to bolster grassroots entrepreneurship by equipping individuals with the necessary resources to establish inclusive and sustainable businesses, thereby contributing to job creation and skill development nationwide. Through capital provision and incubation support, the Old Mutual Foundation empowers aspiring entrepreneurs to realize their full potential and make enduring positive impacts within their communities. The overarching objective of OHM Seed is to extend this entrepreneurship support to 14 regions by 2025. Mignon du Preez, Executive of Group Marketing, Public Affairs and Sustainability of Old Mutual Namibia, said the OHM Seed program would help address the UN's SDGs. We eagerly anticipate witnessing how our grassroots entrepreneurs contribute to addressing the SDGs, particularly with less than 7 years remaining until our expected achievement of these goals, du Preez said. Additionally, du Preez welcomed OHM Seed partners such as the Financial Literacy Initiative, the United Nations Development Programme, and Basecamp, stating that with collaboration, we will be sowing the seeds of opportunity, resilience, and hope. For in our unity lies the promise of a brighter, more prosperous future for all in Namibia. On the other side of the break, we'll be taking a look at our story of the day. Do stay with Sunset News.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toyvon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The Agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact Agenda at synergy.com.na to get your product and service in the hot seat. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.
In our story of the day, Ours Motors has donated a brand new blue espresso vehicle to Windhoek High School. This vehicle will be auctioned off to the highest bidder, with the proceeds directed towards the refurbishment and maintenance of the school's netball courts. During the vehicle handover, Gerhard Vermeulen, managing director of the Ours Motors Group, surprised the VIS netball team with an additional $10 Namibian check. This was granted to VIS by Nictus Holdings Limited, group affiliated with Ours Motors. During the annual Nictus Golf Day, funds were raised and thus in turn was given to Windhoek High School. Let's take a look.
So nee, ek dink van ons kant af dit bly 'n voorreg om by VIS betrokke te wees. Oor die afgelope klompie jare, soos jy nou genoem het, baie naby aan 20 jaar, is dit elke jaar vir ons 'n voorreg om by hierdie skool betrokke te wees. En die kultuur van die skool en dit wat die skool na streef, dis lekker om deel te wees van dit. En ek dink vir ons as Ours Motors, dis vir ons belangrik om by sport betrokke te wees. Ek het 'n groot passie daarvoor om by sport spesifiek betrokke te wees. Ek het ander dag dit ook genoem dat spansport is ongelooflik belangrik. Spesifiek want die rede hoekom ek dit so bevorder is oor die eenvoudige rede dat as jy nie kan leer om in 'n span te funksioneer nie, kan jy nie in die volwasse wêreld buite kan funksioneer nie. Want daar's ongelooflik min beroepe waar 'n kind as 'n individu 'n sukses kan maak. Al is jy 'n narkotiseerder of 'n spesialis op enige vakgebied, jy het nog steeds iemand nodig wat vir jou ondersteun in dit wat jy doen. Al is dit net om 'n faktuur uit te maak of 'n telefoon te antwoord. En dit vorm deel van 'n span. As jy 2 is jy klaar deel van 'n span. So dis hoekom dit so belangrik is in spesifiek span sport. Individuele sport het ook 'n plek in die wêreld, maar dis hoekom ons span sport ondersteun. En dit bly vir ons 'n ongelooflike voorreg. Die karretjie in die bors van die karretjie om tot op hierdie punt toe te kom en weer eens om hierdie 'n sukses te maak, is weer eens 'n span poging. En ek hoop en ek glo regtig waar dat hierdie inisiatief gaan vir ons goeie vrugte afwerp. En ek hoop dat soos altyd die ouers en die besigheidsgemeenskap aan buitekant, en wanneer dit kom by WHS het hulle ongelooflike diep sakke. So ek glo hulle gaan regtig waar diep in hulle sakke loop grawe en hierdie inisiatief ondersteun. En dan nou verder tot dit ook, soos wat jy nou net genoem het, ons houermaatskappy, ons moedermaatskappy wat Nictus Holdings is, het elke jaar het hulle 'n golfdag en die golfdag gaan van sukses tot sukses. En ons gaan en dan maak ons geldjies uit dit uit bymekaar en ons probeer soveel as moontlik inisiatiewe uit daai golfdag uit ondersteun. En laas jaar het ons vir onsself 'n doelwit neergesit en ons wil graag vir WHS 10,000 gegee het en ons het dit hierdie jaar weer 'n keer gehaal. En so en dit is Alles Motors is 'n trotse filiaal van die Nictus Houer groep van maatskappye. En so aan en dis lekker ook om deel te wees van daai tipe klas van atmosfeer en weer eens klomp maatskappye wat saamwerk om een span te vorm. So ons is bly maar terug by die span konsep. So baie dankie vir die geleentheid en ons sien uit daarna om saam met julle te werk en hier 'n groot sukses te maak.
Dankie.
Ons kan nou daarso.
Ja, maar ons hou eers 'n woord.
Is hy regop?
Ja.
Hierdie kan my pens wegsteek.
Community Talk follows shortly.
Introducing 061 Express, brought to you by Synergy in proud partnership with Windhoek Express. Here's your chance to make your voice heard to celebrate the businesses that make Windhoek exceptional. From your favorite coffee spot to the salon that always gets your style just right. It's time to shine a spotlight on the gems of our city. Over the next 8 weeks, it's your chance to vote for your favorites to recognize the best of the best. Nominations open on the 25th of April and close on the 5th of May. To nominate your favorite business, simply save this number, 085-785-6231, and WhatsApp #061Express or scan the QR code below and follow the on-screen instructions. By nominating your favorites, you're not only supporting local businesses, but you also stand a chance to win your share of 50,000 Namibian dollars in cash. The voting process will be the same as the nominations process, using the Synergy chatbot and the #061Express. Voting opens on June 5th and closes on June 23rd. Make sure to cast your vote for the best of the best. The winners will be announced on June 28th. 061Express, celebrating the heartbeat of Windhoek. Get ready to make your mark.
Tommy Kluter is very grateful to Logistics Hub Namibia, who transported his wheelchair for him today at no cost from Windhoek to Walvis Bay. Leandria Mower was there. Let's take a look.
Logistics Hub, ek sê baie dankie vir die stoel wat julle vir my gebring het. Sonder koste. En ek waardeer dat as 'n disabled mens en hou aan met die goeie werk. Julle weet net nie wat 'n seëning dit is vir ons nie. Kyk, die een ding wat ons weet, ons kan niks vir God doen nie, maar dit wat ons aan sy kinders doen, doen ons aan hom. So dat so kom ek sê baie dankie en vir oudtes ook.
Sê gou vir my hoe lank is om Tommy nou al in die stoel in?
Ek is van 2019.
Hoe lank het u nou al daai ene, daai rooi ene?
Die rooi ene kom seker van 20 af.
Sjoe. En ons al amper 4 jaar later en hier's nou 'n mooier ene, 'n mooier ene.
Nee, ek waardeer.
Good deeds definitely do go a long way. Moving on, according to Economic News, Namibia revokes visa exemptions for over 30 countries. We'll expand on this after this short break.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
In our economic news, the Namibian government has resolved to introduce entry visa requirements for countries that have not reciprocated its visa exemption gestures. Citizens from over 30 countries will no longer enjoy visa-free access to Namibia if their nations fail to reciprocate visa exemption agreements. The proposal submitted by the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security has been approved by the cabinet recently. According to data from the Namibia Tourism Board and various embassies, this decision could affect around 37 countries. Namibia currently has visa exemptions for around 55 nations, with only 18 of those replicating the exemptions. Notably, 18 countries such as Angola, Botswana, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and others will remain unaffected by the changes as they have reciprocal visa arrangements with Namibia. However, approximately 37 countries could be impacted by the new visa requirements. This include nations such as Armenia, Australia, Austria, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Hong Kong, Iceland, Indonesia, Ireland, Italy, Jamaica, Japan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, and Macau. Furthermore, Mauritius, Moldova, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, Russia, Seychelles, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Tanzania, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Ukraine, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and Uzbekistan could also be affected. The decision aims to foster equal treatment among nations regarding visa regulations. Let's take a look at our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.36, against the euro at 19.94, against the US dollar at 18.40. 2 Namibian dollars and 54 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, gold and platinum went up while copper and Brent crude oil went down. Brent crude oil trading at 0.51%, going for $81 and 25 cents per barrel. In international news, Palestinian death toll in Gaza exceeds 35,000. We expand on this after the break.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Getting into our international news, the Palestinian death toll from the ongoing Israeli attacks in the Gaza Strip has risen to 35,800 and injuries to over 80,000. The Palestinian Health Authority said in a statement released on Thursday. In the past 24 hours, the Israeli military operation in Gaza caused 91 deaths, according to the statement. Since the night of Wednesday, the Israeli military has carried out airstrikes on multiple regions in central and northern Gaza. On Thursday, the military said that it had not yet launched a massive invasion of Gaza's southern city of Rafah, neighboring Egypt, but is strengthening its fights and will send more troops to the city. Israel Defense Forces spokesman Daniel Hagari said on Thursday that so far Israeli forces had killed dozens of armed fighters in Rafah, discovered dozens of underground tunnels, and destroyed military facilities, including rocket launching sites. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said on the same day that as the country's military steps up its attacks against Rafah, its ground and air forces will be increased while conditions for the return of the Israeli hostages will be created. In a statement released on Thursday, the IDF said that as part of its military operation in northern Gaza's Jabalia region, the joint operation of its air and ground forces killed a commander of the Beit Hanun battalion of Hamas, who the IDF said had planned a large number of attacks inside Israel. Palestinian official news agency Wafa said that from the night of Wednesday to the early morning of Thursday, Israeli airstrikes on the Strip's northern Gaza city and its central Nuseirat refugee camp led to at least 24 deaths. Let's take a look at our weather predictions. Katima Mulilo can expect sunny weather with a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius, while Kobabes can expect a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius. Rehoboth can expect sunny weather with a minimum of 11 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius, while Handys Bay can expect a minimum of 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius. We'll now head over to the sports desk, proudly brought to you by SportsRep.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news. Starting off with soccer news first is the English Premier League. That is done, but there's still movement on players and coaches, and big news from Chelsea is that their coach Mauricio Pochettino they announced that by mutual consent he will no longer be the coach of Chelsea. He was only the coach for one season, and previously it was Pochettino that also coached Southampton, also Tottenham Hotspur for almost 5 years, and also PSG in Paris he was the coach of. And it was a consortium of the United States that took over Chelsea a few years ago, and they were in the news throughout the year because they spent $1.3 billion on new players, and it is Chelsea that this season still finished in 6th position, so it is Pochettino that's going to leave the club. Moving on to rugby news, and it's the Springbok rugby team that will play quite a few test matches starting in June, but not good news on the injury front, and news coming in is that Damian Willemse, he's the preferred fullback in the last few games. He's injured his hand, or actually his finger. He need to have the operation, so he's out for 4 months, so he will miss the test matches, especially against Ireland in July. And also it is Lukhanyo that's also out injured. He will not play in the final of the European Challenge Cup. That is on Friday when the Sharks play against Gloucester. His injury seemed to be a short-term injury. Moving on to athletics, and good news for South Africa at the Para World Athletic Championship in Japan. Gold medal that was achieved by Mpolelo Mhlongo, and he won the T44 division 100 meter gold, so well done to him. And on to cricket news. It's the Indian Premier League that also continues, and it's playoff times. And it was in the first game, it was the Kolkata Knight Riders that went through to the final because they beat the Sunrisers Hyderabad by 8 wickets. And the Sunrisers will still have a chance in another game to go through to the final. They will play the winners of the Rajasthan Royals and the Royal Challengers. So it's all to play for in the Indian Premier League. And to conclude today's international sports news, it is cycling news. The Giro d'Italia that continues, it was stage 16 over 118 kilometers from Santa Cristina to Grogan, and it's the general classification leader Tadej Pogačar that dominated again in stage 16. He won it in bad weather. It was raining quite a bit throughout the stage. He won it in 2 hours, 49 minutes and 37 seconds. Second, Guillermo Palacio, and he was 16 seconds behind him, and then David Philip Martinez in third position. So in the general classifications, it is Pogačar that comfortably lead by 7 minutes and 18 seconds, and that is from Daniel Phillips Martinez that finished third in stage 16, and in third position is Gareth Thomas, 7 minutes and 40 seconds behind the leader Pogačar. The stage 17 will be over 159 kilometers. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
That was Ari Hokart for the sports news. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, oneup2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday and Sundays from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Glenora Shipura, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.